YouTube, how you doing? This is Northern Michigan Living again, and I got another project here. Center bearing. This thing's about 1.5 years old, and it just gave up the ghost. See if you can hear this. It started howling pretty good. I'm half deaf, so I figured, it's in my head. But then it started getting louder and louder and louder, and before you know it, my daughter said something about it, so then I knew I had a problem. So I gotta get this sucker replaced. I got a new one, and we'll start by taking out this carrier bearing, pulling it out of the slip yoke, put a catch can beneath it to catch whatever residual fluid may come out of there, and then start disassembling the drive shaft. So let me get this puppy out and see where we're at. Get you caught up. Took the shaft off. I just split these two on the rear off the differential. They are mine are a T45. I don't know if yours are the same. And then I wrapped it with some tape. This is the nearest thing I had, so these cups don't come off and I end up contaminating the bearings. This is what Northern Michigan will do to your drive shaft. You gotta love that. So I'll be prepping and painting that here real soon. And here's the culprit here. Yeah, you hear that thing wobbling. That's not my tailgate, that's this. So that's got to come off. So press fitting. I got to bust it out of here, and that's probably going to take a torch, a chisel, a hacksaw, lots of swearing, and the whole deal. So, and then here's the new one here. I picked this up from Auto Value. It's a Federal Mogul, at least. That's a better brand than, I don't know what that was. I bought it at Advance Auto, and nothing against them, but this is the only one they had, and it's lasted me 1.5 years. So if you get one, hopefully you get better luck than I did. So let me get this taken apart, and I'll let you know what I had to do to get it separated. All right, catch up in a bit. A little catch up here. Here is the old bearing. All right, so take a piece of, a pry bar, a hammer, whatever, and beat it off that knuckle. Okay, it'll come off looking like this. And then inside is the actual bearing. All right, so imagine, if you will, this was like this. Ah, come on, it's all greasy and gooey. There. Now you got the gist. Alright, so angle grinder, and my real one started smoking, so I just threw it out and used the polisher, a high-speed polisher, and put the thing on it, the cutting wheel. So anyway, I cut this in half. The other half went flying somewhere in the garage, so I got to get that. So make sure you wear iPro. And then I cut this off as the actual bearings inside it, and then all this stuff just goes on each side of it. And then once you get to the actual collar that gets press fitted on the shaft, I just cut an angle on it, took a chisel, which is on the workbench, took a chisel and just started beating on it, and it just ping, popped right off, and then screwed it right off. So I did score the shaft a tiny bit, just a little nick, but I think that'll be fine because it's such a small thing, really. Okay, so now to put on the new one, the new hotness, and slap this puppy back together. So pretty soon I'll have it done. So this is the easy part, frankly. Just take this, a piece of pipe that fits inside of here, so it rides on this, and you just ping, 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 tap it on in there, and there you go. Pretty simple stuff, really. So yeah, give me a minute and I'll catch you up. Here we are. I got the bearing on, and I know it's backwards, but this flange is all beat up, so I didn't want it tearing up into the rubber, and it really shouldn't matter much. I mean, this thing's like 3 feet off the ground, so it's not like debrising it in there. This is the piece of tube I used. Piece of cake, used a piece of wood against it, slide it over here, and beat the end of it with a hammer, bop, 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 and it just scooted right on easily. So I'm just over the nudge there, or over the shoulder rather, so it's seated where it's supposed to be, and I got good spacing here, so it's not going to rub anything. And then I got to put this boot on, and then I'm going to put the zip ties back on it because I don't have any hose clamps or metal clamps to fit around this, and zip ties were on it when I bought it, and they work fine. Put some grease in here. That's always a good thing because of the slip joint. You don't want it getting dry out on you, even though odds are really high it won't. And then fit in the other piece. I got my balancing mark here, and then I got another one here. I know it's hard to see through the rust, but again, that's a job for springtime. So we'll get that all done, put it back together, and then I'll put it back on the truck. And from here, it's pretty straightforward. Wipe this end off, put it in the back of the transfer case, bolt these up, make sure you got your spacer on there. I think 250s didn't have a spacer, 350s had a, I want to say a 1-inch or 2-inch. Mine, I use an 1 3/4, keeps all my drive lines within spec, so it doesn't vibrate. And then, of course, this end, slip it back in the differential. I kept the bottom one on and the top one this way. I kept the bottom one on so I can just plop it in there and then put the strap across the top, tighten up your 45 Torx bolts, and there you go. Make sure the thing spins freely, so when you're setting up your spacer, I like to turn the tires a few times. You know, like right now I got the emergency brake on, but get it so it's just a little short of snug. Spin the wheels a bunch of times and let this thing center itself, basically, as far as where it needs to go. And then make sure you're not crowding up the shaft here too much so it doesn't slam against it if you get compression. Other than that, pretty straightforward. Hope you all enjoyed. Please feel free to comment below, like the video, share the video, use the video. Give me some feedback. Tell me I'm crazy and screwed up and I shouldn't be touching trucks, you know. I'm still going to do it, but it'll be fun to hear. So hope you all have a good one, and I'll see you on the next project.